Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to another episode on What a Story. Today, we dive into the intricate and challenging narratives that paint the human experience, shedding light on the challenges, decisions, and emotions that individuals face in their lives. Please remember, these stories are real, and they carry with them the weight of authentic human emotion. Let's begin. Story 1. I, 48F, do not wish to attend the wedding of my 27F daughter. I spent 16 years in what seemed to be a happy marriage. Everyone adored my ex-husband, even my parents. They had nothing but praise for him. Together, we had 3 kids, and we also adopted 3 adolescent kids. We didn't have a romantic marriage, but we had a wonderful family, and that seemed like enough. He did some things that made me realize he was not the man I thought he was toward the end, but nothing illegal to my knowledge at that time. Which is relevant because I found out he was a serial cheater, which my own mother blamed me for. This is relevant. In the end, I divorced him, and because he was so adored, everyone thought I was the bad guy, even with my parents. This was the situation. He was arrested for engaging in some horrifically predatory behavior a few years after the divorce. A nightmare come true. He will now serve the remainder of his life in prison. It was a nightmare for all of us. And over the past 5 years, I've done everything I can to support and encourage my children as they work through their grief. Thankfully, they are doing fantastically. They all make me incredibly happy. My mother, my freaking own mother, has made the decision to make an effort to connect my children with their father. I've assured my children that I will support them if they ever decide to get in touch with him, but I would advise doing so with the assistance of a therapist, whose services I have offered to pay for. My ex is a terrible sociopath who is very cunning. For them, making that contact is risky. My mother has gone against my wishes and has made it her life's work to convince my children that they must forgive their father. Although I don't harbor any hate, I do believe it is crucial to protect my children from harmful individuals. Even when my kids have asked her to leave them alone, my mother is obstinate and won't give up. I've stopped communicating with my mother as a result. All of my younger children's devices have her blocked because she won't stop. Therefore, my eldest daughter will marry the following year. She's a wonderful person. She is very loving and kind. But due to the trauma she has experienced in her life prior to becoming my daughter, as well as the situation with her father, she is very easily manipulated and incredibly submissive. She's been manipulated by my mother, and my daughter and her father are now in touch. My mother is heavily involved in it all, but I don't mind that. I have apologized to my daughter and assured her that I will do everything in my power to support her. The truth is that my mother is very active in my daughter's life. I'm not included in the wedding planning, which my mother is doing. Fine, whatever. I don't want to attend the wedding, but that's not the reason. Simply put, I don't want my mother to ever see my younger children or me again. In my opinion, the current situation is extremely dangerous. I have to keep the peace there. I really want to attend my daughter's wedding, but if my mother attends, I think I will have to decline. It will actually be my entire family, and they have treated me horribly because I don't talk to my mother. They all feel bad for her. I am certain that if I went, it would be awful and I would experience a lot of emotional abuse. How can I best support my daughter in this circumstance? I don't want to issue her with a command. That sounds inhumane, and skipping feels incredibly cruel. How can I resolve this? Do I simply try to keep my distance from my family, crossing my fingers that nothing untoward occurs? Or is it okay to tell my daughter all of this knowing that she will undoubtedly be hurt and grow to love my mother more as a result? What to do in this situation is so unclear to me. Updates in the comments. In fact, I see a therapist. As conflicted about it as I am, so is my therapist. I'm worried that everything is a trap for me, and that I'll be ambushed. I've had similar conversations with my mother in the past about more minor issues. There isn't much that can rattle me because I am pretty freaking tough. This appears to be extremely risky. There is history there, after all, and it goes beyond just this one event. My mother is cunning, deceptive, and ready to go to any lengths to cause harm when she wants to. A user said, "Your ex-husband was definitely fucked by your mom." The op replied, "I have definitely thought about it. There is a serious problem here. However, my mother treats my brothers in the same way. My brother has abused his girlfriends verbally and physically. I saw it at the most recent family wedding. In fact, and it's crazy how aggressively my mother defends him. All men are brought into her little codependent world. With the exception of those she can't manipulate, she literally has no friends and is not close to anyone in the family other than my dad and brothers. Another user said, "Is your entire extended family following her example? I would remind everyone of the charges that X is facing in prison. Did he exploit the impending marriage of your daughter?" The op replied, "There isn't a large family. Actually, no. My mother long ago cut off anyone she considered to be beneath her, with the exception of my brothers and my father. This would be the entire extended family. She is friendless. Beyond this, no family exists. She maintains close ties with the few individuals she can control while maintaining no contact with anyone else. My grandmother, who raised me more than my mother did, is very supportive of me, despite the fact that she is quite elderly. We don't really talk about it." In another comment, the op said, "In reality, I'm on the opposite side of the nation from everyone, with the exception of when I visit my daughter. They are not at all a part of my life. I wish she would visit a therapist. She doesn't care. Can't be done. She won't do it even though my other kids all have. When she became my daughter, she was 13. Because of this, and because she's always been very set in her ways, we don't have a typical mother-daughter relationship." Phew, what a story. The complexities of relationships aren't just limited to romantic ones. They extend to our family ties, with memories, shared histories, and differing perspectives shaping how we interact. It's devastating when those who are supposed to support us unconditionally, like family, turn against us or support the very people who hurt us. It brings us to a difficult question. How much do we have to sacrifice for the sake of family? And when do we decide that it's time to protect our well-being and put ourselves first? Story 2. How can I, 21F, gently inform my husband, 29M, that I no longer find him to be sexually attractive? I've been with my husband for 3 years, and we've been married for 2 years. He has a problem with excessive overreacting. For example, if I spill milk on the carpet, he will jump up and exclaim, "Are you fucking kidding me, my name?" That's just one illustration. The smallest things in the world can set him off. When it comes to situations like that, I most certainly underreact. For instance, when he misplaced my keys, I joked with him and told him we'd find them together, when he mistakenly believed I had misplaced his keys. However, he told me not to touch his shit ever again, explaining that this is the reason he doesn't want me to touch shit. Where the fuck are my keys? Etc. It used to happen every day, but now it only happens about once a week. I told him it was unacceptable if he continued to act that way every day. How am I supposed to be sexually attracted to someone who constantly snaps at me like this? It's been really hurting my sex drive. While looking for a home to buy, we were forced to spend 3 months at his mother's house. He told me he didn't want us having sex because I'm way too loud, and I agreed. However, I insisted that it was okay. He initiates sex almost every night, and almost every time he tells me to be quiet, not in a sexual way, but in a very angry way. I just push him away and cry. He then goes on a rant about how difficult it is for me to just be quiet. It would be embarrassing for my mother to hear that, so please don't, despite the fact that he would initiate. My sex drive was severely damaged by this. Our sex life changed from occurring every night to only happening once a week when he asks after staying with his mom. Every night he asks for sex, and if I don't want it, he tells me to jerk him off or blow him. I'm so sick of having to tell him no because I don't want sex. If he continues to act in this manner, I cannot feel sexual attraction to him. Other than that, he's a great husband. He frequently invites me out on dates, is very affectionate, values me, and looks after both my cats and I. How can I tell him politely that I'm no longer attracted to him sexually? I don't want him to think anything of it. What a story. The balance between emotional connection and physical attraction is delicate. How our partners treat us, even outside the bedroom, can deeply influence our feelings of closeness and desire. It's a poignant reminder that every action, every word, and every gesture in a relationship contributes to the tapestry of feelings and attitudes we hold for one another. For our viewers tuning in, take a moment to reflect. Have you ever found yourself distancing from someone, not because of a lack of love, but because certain behaviors created barriers? How did you navigate such a delicate situation? Please share your insights in the comments section below. Your experiences and advice might be the guiding light someone else needs. That's the end of our episode for today. If you enjoyed these stories and want more, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and activate the notification bell. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.